You are listening to a BEACHGLASS Media Podcast.
Simple Times Podcast here. Today's episode is New Year's-ish. You know, we're here recording on January 18th, so it's not quite a New Year's episode, but it's our first one of the year, so that's why I said it's, New Year's-ish. It's going to be kind of a quite simple episode, just some catching up, BEACHGLASS commercial, History with Hefe, similar stuff. Andrew's got a game for me that he hasn't quite debuted yet to me. Sometimes news, jokes with Hefe, and then we got a bunch of other crap in between. So, yeah, let's see what we can get into.
Episode 34. I like how you said in the intro, the crap that's in between.
Yeah.
Because right before we were about to record, Marcelo,
You're going to talk about it?
You had to go numero 2. And the only thing
I had to empty out all my crap in between.
the only thing that crossed my mind is, what did you eat?
Let's see. For breakfast, I think I had, or breakfast. Cause
I didn't think you were going to go back to breakfast.
No, I mean, honestly, I haven't eaten much today. It was just 2 hard-boiled eggs, I think, in the morning when I woke up. And then before I left the house in the morning, afternoon-ish, I think I had a bowl of cereal. And then after that, I didn't have anything else to eat until dinner. Before I showed up here, I went to the Happy Diner over in Pedro. One of them, Happy Diner number 3. On 25th and Western. It's opened up maybe 4 months ago.
Oh, okay. Fairly new.
And they have a burger there called the Borracho Burger.
Whoa.
For
those of you who don't know Spanish, borracho means drunk.
Yeah, I know.
Like a drunkard burger.
And it's, a bacon cheeseburger, but it's got...
rum, vodka, tequila.
No, that would be... That would make this episode a hell of a lot more fun. No, it bacon cheeseburger, and it had a sliced jalapenos on it. It had like this jalapeno mayo on it, pickles, onions, same old stuff. So yeah, it was good.
So it was the jalapenos that tore you up.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, could just be a lot of dairy. I usually don't have this much dairy. Like as far as
Well, that sounds really good actually, because at work, we have a Carl's Jr. down the street from our office.
Okay.
And I used to go there all the time, but they shut down.
Oh, really?
But the burger that I kept getting every now and then was the Diablo burger.
Oh, yeah. I never had that one, but yeah.
It had jalapeno poppers in it.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know what it was, but I loved that thing.
Yeah.
And since you mentioned that Borracho burger, oh, man, I have fond memories of the jalapenos in the burger. So I might have to check that place out just to get the jalapenos.
I was gonna tell you that if you wanted to come out that way to record over at Rory's house, because I'm house sitting this week, we could have stopped by there, had dinner, and then gone to record. But then I also forgot all the mobile BEACHGLASS media setup. So I mean, we would have had to come out this way anyways. And
I had forgotten that I had to work today. I was mandated because Monday's a holiday. So
that's right. Yeah, it's not a holiday for us. That's why yeah.
For post office workers, it's a holiday. So I had to work today, which was a bummer. And then, of course, you did forget we were going to meet up today.
I did, yeah. I think because initially we were going to talk about recording on Friday, and then plans came up, and then actually plans ended up canceling. So I was gonna tell you, like, hey, let's record tonight, or last night on Friday, but I was like, no, you know what? Let me get laundry done. Let me get a few things done, so this way I don't have to worry about it for the week, since I'll be at Rory's house. I mean, they'll let me do laundry there too, but if I can get it out of the way, not worry about it, that's like one less thing for me to worry about.
So how long are you house sitting over there?
For a week, from today until next Saturday.
Oh, cool.
So
sounds fun.
Yeah.
It's like you're a bachelor.
Yeah, with
For
two
a
dogs.
week.
Yeah.
Oh, you're watching the dogs.
Yeah, I'm watching the dogs. Yeah,
Nice,
yeah.
nice.
But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting thing because I'm not used to driving that far for work.
So you gotta plan it. You gotta wake up a little earlier.
Yeah.
Consider the drive.
Yeah.
Traffic, maybe.
Yeah.
It's just a longer distance.
Yeah. It's instead of going, I think it's like maybe not even like a mile from my house to work. I think now it's like 16 miles.
Whoa.
Or something like that. I don't know. How big is 5 miles?
So you're from the coast of Pedro.
Yeah.
To
Torrance Airport.
So yeah, about what, 5 miles?
7 maybe. Yeah.
That sounds about right.
So
well, anyway, Marcelo, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, man, and happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Belated birthday.
Yeah.
But
belated for the episode, but I did send you a video that you did seem to enjoy, and you were very caught off guard with.
It was a William Shatner song. It's William Shatner singing the song, and he says my name in there. That was really good. I did not expect that. I don't know how you found that, but that was a good watch. It did bring a smile to my face. So thank you very much,
No
Marcelo. That was great. But I wanted to ask you about Christmas. The last episode we did, the simple Xmas, Christmas. It was a fun one.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed listening back because we had a lot of special things in there.
And
a lot of Christmassy stuff.
Yeah, I haven't listened, to be honest. I'm behind on it, to be honest. Yeah.
It's okay.
I'll get around to it. Yeah, I'll get around to it.
Just say you're the Johnny Depp of podcasters. you do the shows. You just don't watch your work. Or listen.
I just need the wine. I just need all the wine. That's about it.
But yeah, Christmas. How was your Christmas?
Sick.
Oh,
so yeah,
you're always sick.
I know. Yeah, I'd gotten sick the weekend before. Or actually, I should say, I started feeling something the last day of work before shutdown, which was the 21st, I think it was. Yeah, 21st. Started feeling a little tickle. Then I was actually dog sitting again for another friend.
It wasn't Tickle Me Elmo tickling
No,
you?
it was not. No, Tickle Me Elmo. No. I know he's here somewhere. So
He better not be.
I told him to be here. So maybe he'll pop up later. I don't know. Maybe I'll call out for him.
Elmo, if you're listening, I got a Glock.
So I was dog sitting then, and luckily I finished dog sitting Monday, and that's really when it hit me. So I took care of the dogs in the morning, got home in the afternoon, and that's when I started feeling really, really bad. And I was like, okay. I was actually supposed to go to a ballet on that Sunday.
A ballet?
I was going to ballet, Nutcracker.
Oh, the Nutcracker.
Yeah, over at the Dolby in LA with Rory, Liz, and Mike, and my mom. I had to back out because I was like, no. I was like, I know if I go, on Sunday, I'm going to push it, and I'm not going to feel great for Christmas. And Christmas is Rory's birthday, and it's Christmas, and we were having a big dinner and all that stuff. So I was like, I'll ruin the ballet because I know the ballet I can just watch, next year or it's. They said that Long Beach is the better one, so really you go to the Long Beach one. They did go around like LA, do a couple other things, but it wasn't like a seasonal thing. It was like just a regular trip to LA for them. I think the sirens are coming to get Elmo.
Well, they better.
So I'd stayed home Monday, Tuesday, managed. Dang, maybe they actually are.
I know they're pretty loud. I wonder if they're picking up on the mics, but
yeah. So I started feeling a little better. Come Christmas was what? Wednesday, right?
Wednesday.
So Tuesday, because I managed to find some good meds, and start taking them all day Monday, all day Tuesday.
Some crack cocaine.
Almost, not quite that level, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then Wednesday, I did end up feeling better, and since Wednesday's also, or Christmas Day is also Rory's birthday, we went and we saw Nosferatu.
Perfect.
And
because I'm glad you brought it up, because in a little bit we're going to play a game.
Uh-huh.
And the game is called Nosferatu Nosferatu.
Okay.
Yes or no. Nosferatu, Yesferatu. Okay.
There's a meme that I posted on my stories, I think last week, that said Yesferatu and it had him smiling.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
All right, so keep going with the story, and then the game will come up soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you went to see
Nosferatu.
How was it? I hear for a horror movie, it's like a really good film.
I would say so. My personal opinion would be, I'm not going to touch too much on it because Rory and I are going to do an episode over on a Fear and Review.
Oh, good.
So
I was hoping you would have something.
We're going to. It's just since he's out on the cruise now, it was pretty hectic for them to try to catch up to work and then do all that stuff. So we weren't able to record. But we are doing a Nosferatu, so I'm not going to get too deep into it. But I would say personally, I don't see it as a horror movie. There are horror elements to it, but I would see it more as a gothic movie.
Interesting.
Nosferatu is pretty terrifying, minus a couple other things that I'll talk about on a Fear and Review that I've seen a lot of other people talk about. But it's more of like a gothic love story than it really is like a horror movie. Like it's definitely not like a Dracula. Like if you watch Dracula, it's like, oh shit, this is actually a horror movie. No, this is, to me, is more a gothic love story. It's more about Nosferatu finding a girl that he yearns for, for love and all that stuff. And
gotcha. We'll save it for a Fear and Review. Definitely. And since we're on this right now, let's do a quick commercial break for Beach Glass Media. What is Beach Glass Media, Marcelo?
A wannabe conglomerate? No.
It's like a micro podcast network.
Think of like a microbrewery, but we talk.
Right.
So
I have this passion for editing stuff on my computer, and since we started Simple Times Podcast, I consider that our flagship.
Yeah, it is.
Podcast on Beach Glass Media.
Yep.
And then it branched out to your podcast,
A Fear and Review.
A Fear and Review, which I have to say, I've been waiting to hear your Nosferatu take. I mean, yeah. And I should mention, your first podcast was the original Nosferatu.
Yep.
Which was really interesting. And what I loved about that very first episode, which if you're listening, people, you can go check it out right now.
That was correct. That was like your second episode.
Oh, it was your second. Okay, my bad.
It's all right. Yeah,
look for that second episode.
Yeah,
and it
was our first movie that we reviewed. But yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. What I loved about it is Rory did touch on the fact that if it wasn't for SpongeBob SquarePants, a lot of new generation would not know who Nosferatu is or what it is, because that's the first time I ever heard or saw Nosferatu, and I just thought it was brilliant that you guys did touch on that. But yeah, listeners, pause this episode podcast, look up A Fear in Review. It's available on Spotify. It's on Apple Podcasts, all the big players. And what they do there, Marcelo and Rory, is they review horror movies, new and old. And they have about 7, 8 episodes?
Yeah, I think about 8. Yeah.
And what was the last one you guys did? It was on Longlegs, I believe.
No, the last one we did was
the Christmassy ones.
Yeah. I titled it Santa's Candy Cane and the Barn Elves.
I enjoyed that episode. I recommend that one. I haven't
listened to that one either yet. So
I recommend it. I don't care if you didn't listen to it. I recommend it. That one was a fun one. And coming off of the holidays, it's still kind of relevant. So yeah, check out that Santa one and his candy cane.
Yeah.
But hey, stay tuned. I'm looking forward to your new Nosferatu review. And that's A Fear in Review. And then the other podcast that is on Beach Glass Media is my personal one, Faith and Politics. I just put out episode 11, the latest episode. Check it out if you're into political and, I guess, religious stuff. That's just what I do over there.
And a quick thing on political that I just saw right now, breaking, TikTok is officially banned.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they went early.
So if I know you're a TikToker or you're on TikTok and you're opening the app, you're showing me the screen and it says it's not available.
Yeah.
That's insane. So what are you going to do now?
I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm not gonna be on TikTok anymore
until someone buys it.
They said that they're working on something to do something, but I mean,
yeah, I think what it is
it's gonna be too different for anybody to really be on. It's gonna be it's just not gonna feel the same. It's just
I mean, for one, I never jumped on the TikTok bandwagon, even though I know it's super popular, because I don't know. If I'm on any social media, that's all I do, and I'm trying to limit my social media time.
It was very addicting, but my God, some of the stuff on there was top-notch stuff. I mean, it was just, I'm not even talking about the creators that actually made, money off of it and the businesses that it helped. If you couldn't afford to create your own website, you had a TikTok page. And
True.
It was just it helped out so many people without the fear of it going into the whole public domain, mainframe, whatever you want to say, like how Facebook and Instagram is, how they're like public shares. This was still like a private thing that you felt like, oh, they're not going to be, because it's owned by one person. It's not going to be, my information is not going to be shared out there amongst the ether of the world, which was completely odd, because that's what they tried to say it was, is that, oh yeah, your data breaches, but there was never a TikTok data breach, but there was always a Facebook one. So that's why also I'm not on Facebook anymore much. Yeah. That's kind of like for the old people now.
Yeah. I'm seriously, I'm tired of Facebook.
Yeah.
I don't like going on. I don't like seeing what's there. I don't like it. It's just to me, Facebook is just a bunch of billboards.
Yeah.
People are just reposting stuff.
Yeah.
Which the other sites are kind of like that too.
Yeah, you can repost stuff over there, but it's it still allows you to be creative with what you repost,
Right. I just love Instagram.
Yeah.
That's just my go-to.
Yeah.
It's clean.
Have you ever done the threads though?
No.
Yeah, I haven't either. Yeah. It keeps telling me to join threads, but I'm like, I think I might have joined it, jumped on it, on accident once. So now it tells me to come back, and I'm like, I was never on it. What do you mean?
Right. I mean, I made my Twitter /X, and I scroll through it, but I don't interact with it.
Yeah. I don't even do that.
The only thing I think is top notch is Instagram.
Yeah. And
Instagram has, the TikTok features like the Reels.
Yeah, but still there's something a little different about that. I don't know. It's just a different feel. It's like Instagram and TikTok, they were they're videos, stupid videos, but they were still different. You just felt different going through it. It just, I don't know. It was just different thing. So,
and speaking of different thing, we're in a different year now compared to the last episode we put out.
Yep.
Happy New Year again.
Yeah.
2025.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that crazy?
Very.
2025. It sounds like a big number.
What's even crazier is to go back and watch old movies from the 70s and 80s, and they're talking about in the future, and their future is 2019, and then you're like, oh shit, we're 2025. We're beyond the future that they used to think of, because I think in which one was it? I think it was Omega Man, the Omega Man with Charlton Heston. I don't know if you ever saw it, but their future, because it was a future post-apocalyptic kind of thing. So they were in the future, and the future was 2013 or something like that.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I think even the Jetsons were supposed to be 30 years ahead from where they debuted, and they debuted in the 60s. So the 30s is the 1990s, and here we are, almost 30 years after that. And
yeah, and every time you would see flying cars and stuff.
Yeah.
Now we do have drones flying over our heads frequently.
There actually is a flying car.
There is?
There is a flying car. It's a car that can fly, and then it can drive. However, you need a fucking runway to take off on it, so it's not practical, but the idea is there though.
Right. If anything, I think we'll see drones capable of, lifting humans up into the sky, and then
I mean, to be honest, Robinson's kind of is already in developments of a, and this isn't just me peeking me on the curtain. They've debuted it at one of the expos that they were at recently.
Oh, what is it?
A pilotless helicopter, crewless helicopter.
Oh, wow!
So it's getting
like
there.
It flies itself. Like you don't have to operate it?
That I don't know. I don't know if either it flies itself or if there's someone remotely controlling it. But the idea for this one is more for like cargo, like people that use it for like farmlands and stuff, rather than having someone, rather than piloting it yourself or getting someone to pilot it. They just use a drone to carry cargo from one side to the other. Make it a little easier, a little quicker. So
that's really cool.
I guess.
The way of the future, the
Yep.
way of the future, the way of the future. Have you seen the movie?
Future.
So you were doing Squidward, but I was doing Howard Hughes in the movie The Aviator.
I never saw it.
Leonardo DiCaprio plays Howard Hughes, and
Yeah.
I guess in the film they portray him with like some kind of not ADD. What's the one where you're obsessive compulsive? OCD.
OCD.
And so
Literally the acronym that you were just going to say.
I know. What's that?
Yeah. What's the name for that when you're obsessive compulsive disorder? What's that name?
Kind of like it reminds me of a Peter in Family Guy when they ask him on that game show, like, "All right, Peter, what color are fire trucks?" He's like, "Ooh, fire trucks, fire trucks. What color are those red fire trucks?" What's that? Obsessive compulsive disorder? Anyway, but yeah, in the movie he would go, "The way of the future, the way of the future," and then he couldn't stop because of his OCD.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, it's the way of the future. But so yeah, we have New Year's. Did you stay up?
No.
Yeah, we tried. We tried.
I think, so New Year's Eve, I was at my mom's house and I was putting together some furniture. And then I think I ended up falling asleep maybe about 10:30, 11. And then by the time I woke up, my plan was to try to get out of there before the New Year's. So this way I didn't have to worry about, anybody really out in the road. But I think once I fell asleep and I woke up, I think it was about 1 a.m. So I was like, yeah, I should probably get on the road then. So I did. But no, I mean, I for the past, without working, because of how we used to work the overnight shift, it's been years since I've stayed up voluntarily on New Year's. So
yeah, like this year, I told my kids, like, listen, I know we go to bed early, but because it's a holiday, we can try to stay up, and maybe we can see fireworks going off. And then my youngest daughter's like, we all fell asleep like at 11. We couldn't do it. We were just too tired.
Yeah.
And in the morning, my daughter goes, "Oh, I'm so sad I didn't get to see fireworks." I'm like, no, I mean, it's not like, I told her, it's not a fireworks show. It's like you might be able to see a firework because people just randomly shoot one off.
One thing that actually I heard a lot of people did this year, and that's actually pretty smart, since there's different time zones that celebrate New Year's before us over on the West Coast, they would just turn on their TV, put up on YouTube a video of like New York celebrating at 9:00, or like Australia celebrating it like almost a day before us, and replaying that, celebrating your New Year's like at 7, 8 o'clock at night, and then you can just get to bed whenever you want. There's no pressures of like, oh, we gotta stay up till midnight and all that stuff. It's like you see it, you celebrate it the same way that you would at midnight, but you can go to bed at like a reasonable time.
Man, that sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, especially for us old folk now.
What was I gonna say? Oh, speaking of drones and New Year's, was it New Year's? I heard that some cities would have drone shows. How that's a thing. Fancy drone shows where they move and they make pictures in the sky.
Yeah.
But was it New Year's? I heard a story that the drones kind of kind of went out of sync and started crashing into the crowds.
I didn't hear that.
You didn't hear about that?
No, I didn't hear about that.
I guess there was some little boy. He got struck by one of the.
Oh, okay.
And got severely injured. I mean, he's alive, but
yeah.
You didn't hear that?
No, I didn't hear about that at all.
Well, I don't have the story with me, but
but
maybe if I can find it by the time we get to Simple Times News,
okay,
I'll bring it up.
Right.
But yeah, I'm surprised you didn't hear about that. It was pretty wild story.
Have you ever watched a drone show?
Not live.
No. Okay.
But
I
like on
either.
YouTube.
I heard that over at Cabrillo Beach. You know how they used to do fireworks, or they would do fireworks.
Yeah.
Well, I guess this past year they didn't get they didn't get the license for it, or they didn't book the people ahead of time. Whatever the case was, but they opted to do no. They were supposed to do a drone show, but they opted. Or is it the other way around? Either way, at some point, Cabrillo Beach did a drone show, and in fact, I think they even did one. They did one like at Disneyland. So they're becoming popular. I mean, there's actually companies out there that do drone shows, and then because the big game's coming up, the big NFL game, you can't say the actual name because it's copyrighted, and they could actually sue. So,
What, the game?
You have to call it by the big game. You can't call it by the Ooper Owl. You know what I'm talking about? The big NFL championship.
The Super.
You can't say it.
You can't.
You're not legally up from what I've heard from a lot of podcasts. You cannot actually say that because the NFL will actually sue people for using it, and it's like a copyrighted thing. Isn't that ridiculous?
It's like we can't use everyday words on podcasts.
Yeah, I know.
Or any kind of social media.
Yeah, but no, because
so
those.
What are people saying instead? Ooper Bowl?
No, the big game. Calling it the big game or the NFL championship or.
I don't get it.
I just no. They copyrighted the name of the game, and when they first did it, like I think 2-3 years ago, they actually sued somebody because they were actually promoting something. I guess like they had like some special stream that they're going to do during the game.
Oh.
But they weren't going to show the game. They were just going to do a stream during it and give you updates while they did a show. And I guess they were like, well, because you're using our name on your platform, they sued them. So
basically,
I think that's how
they
it
don't
was.
want all these.
They just don't want people to be they just don't want people to be making money off of it.
They don't want
anymore.
content creators making money off of the Super Bowl.
But it's not even just content creators
can't even
anymore.
say it.
Yeah.
I'm also conscious.
It's not even as content creators, the radio. People on the radio can't even say it. They've got to call it the big game.
I know
the
how we
NFL
can get around
championship.
this. I think I know how we could get around this.
Okay.
From now on, when we say the thing, from now on, we're saying soup, S-O-U-P. Soup.
Okay.
Or soup or bowl.
Or what? Supper.
Supper?
Supper bowl.
Okay.
Okay.
But if you ever hear me say
soup plate, supper plate.
if you ever hear me say the word, I'm actually saying soup, S-O-U-P.
But let me ask you, when was the last soup
or the bowl? Super Bowl.
When was the last time you actually watched one?
Oh man.
Or have you ever
I don't really think I've ever seen one.
I mean, as a kid, I remember like it was like a big thing.
Oh, I knew it was a big thing.
Yeah.
But me growing up, I wasn't into like televised sports that much.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I enjoy sport. I mean, we played tennis.
Right.
We played volleyball. We played ping pong.
Yeah, we played lawn bowling.
We did actual bowling.
Yeah.
That was fun. I'd be down because my coworker talks about a pool league.
Okay.
Would you ever join a pool league?
I'm not that great.
Well, me either.
Yeah.
But from what he tells me, that everyone that plays, like
they just do it for the beer.
Yeah, and then that there's like old ladies that they kind of suck, but they still go. And it's like you're on a team.
Yeah.
And there's usually like one good player, and everyone else is kind of eh.
Yeah.
I don't mind being the eh.
Yeah.
It's just kind of fun playing pool.
I might still have my stick. I used to have a pool cue.
Oh, that's cool.
So I have it somewhere. But well, yeah, I've never seen. I mean, it's been like I'll catch glimpses of it. But I remember as a kid, like it was like that was the thing you watch from beginning to end, watch the commercials, all that stuff. But now it's like I'll catch it like, here and there, catch the score. But what I watch almost religiously every year while that game is on, Puppy Bowl.
The Puppy Bowl.
Because then they have the cat. Then they have the halftime cat show.
Oh yeah. I'm not gonna lie. It always pops up on like my YouTube or something, like highlights of the Puppy Bowl. I do watch them. Like okay. But what the Soup Bowl, Soup Bowl is known for is their
commercials.
So, in spirit of commercials, guess what, Marcelo? We have a fake ad.
Oh, another one.
Yeah, this one's a cool one. It's for an article of clothing, I guess you can say.
Okay.
So yeah, fake ad. This is the part of the show where we read an advertisement because this ad agency, they're offering us loads of cash just to read the advertisement. I mean, how can you say no to that? No luck with the other advertisements because either we missay something or whatever the case may be. But this time, I think we're gonna get that check of $1,000.
Okay.
This fake ad is for a type of hat. Marcelo, you want to do the honors?
Sure.
All right.
Are you an avid hat wearer? Do you basically wear a hat 24/7? Now, do you also experience a tiny little problem with your hat where the brim of the hat obstructs your vision from seeing things up above? Well, have we got a solution for you? Introducing the clear brimmed hat. That's right, the clear brimmed hat. Now you can sport a baseball hat and not have your field of vision be limited to straight forward and below. Now with the clear brimmed hat, you can see things up above without having to tilt your head up. Eureka! Problem solved. Now with the clear brimmed hat, you can now see more, and if you can see more, you can do more. Buy your clear brimmed hat today and get a free attachable brim cover for when you want to block the sun from your eyes. Don't wait, order your clear brimmed hats today.
That was beautiful, Marcelo. You read that was the first time reading it. You read it like a champ. Anyway,
I'm getting used to these.
I'm trying to keep them shorter.
Yeah.
Or I should say the fake ad agency is keeping them shorter. But that's a pretty neat product. A clear brimmed hat. Think about it. You wear a baseball hat, but you can't see up, so it's clear. The brim is clear.
Yeah. But then I like that little attachment that you can put over it, so if you want to keep the sun out, you just pop it on.
Right. So for some reason, if the sun's hitting your eyes because the brim is clear, you get the free attachment.
Right.
Order today.
And who knows? Maybe you can accidentally start fires. So.
What, is the brim magnetized or something?
No.
I mean, magnified?
I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. So.
Anyway. Good job, Marcelo. Thank you for reading the ad. Hopefully we get the money soon. I had my birthday. Can I talk about my birthday?
I was going to. I was like, well, enough about me telling about my holidays. Let's go back to you.
I celebrated my 36th birthday last week, and
we are no longer the same age.
Just for a couple months. Okay, not a couple months.
A couple weeks.
Yeah. Because it was November.
Yeah, end of November, and yours is the beginning of January. So it's about what, 4 weeks, almost 5.
That's crazy. And we met when we were teenagers.
Yeah.
Now we're in our freaking 30s. That just feels weird. And we're still podcasting.
I know, right? Without making money from it.
Soon.
Hopefully.
But yeah, so let's see, my birthday. I went to Outback Steakhouse.
Oh, I haven't been there in a long time.
It was good. Got the bloomin' onion.
Okay,
It was delicious.
You have to.
It was a good time. I went there with my in-laws. They treated me. That was their birthday gift to me. But something crazy happened. So this is going to be a dad story. Ready?
Yeah.
So we were sitting down. Everything was going great. We got the food. We got the drinks. My son, I guess he was trying to scoot his chair up a bit. So he grabbed the bottom of the chair. And turns out the bottom of the chair, I guess the part that you sit on was loose from the frame of the chair. So when he stuck his finger in, he sat down.
Ooh.
And he smashed his finger in between the chair and the frame. And I looked over, he was 2 seats next to me. And I hear like this crying, and I could tell he was really hurt. And he was doing his best to contain his screams.
Yeah.
But I'm like, what just happened?
Yeah.
And, found out he smashed his finger. And I was like, always something. Like, it's my birthday, for Pete's sake. Like, and it was embarrassing because he was like doing the whole whimpering, like,
Yeah.
that kind of noises. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you there. But people were like looking over at us. I'm like, oh man, people are gonna think we're abusing this kid. I'm like, that's not what it is. He just smashed his finger really hard. And he was making noises for a good 5 minutes. I'm like, so embarrassing.
Yeah.
He was fine. He wasn't bleeding. I didn't see any bruise on his finger. He eventually calmed down. He started eating steak because he got like the little junior steak.
Yeah.
And I think it was his first time getting his own little steak.
Oh, really?
And I could tell, like, he really liked it because he stopped crying. He was like, I've been missing out.
The people that worked there were like, crikey, we ought to get this kid a steak in order to get him to stop crying.
Crikey. But yeah, so that was good. It was a nice a dinner. I got me this is crazy what I ordered. You wouldn't have guessed.
A salad.
No.
Oh.
I got it's like a Alfredo pasta.
Okay.
With it was steak on it, but also shrimp.
It's like a surf and turf.
It was like a surf and turf, but on Alfredo.
Okay.
And it was delicious. I loved it.
With the white sauce and everything on it?
With the white sauce.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It surprisingly, it satisfied me.
Yeah.
And then they surprised me with the whole birthday. And the people saying happy birthday.
God,
so.
That's such a nightmare. I hate it.
You know what? I could see why it would be a nightmare, but I enjoyed it. I just kind of I soaked it in.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was on my birthday. Then the following day, because I had this whole week off. I took the whole week off of work. My dad, he took me out to eat. He took me and my family to a pupuseria.
Ooh.
We had pupusas.
Okay.
And oh man, it took me back to my childhood. It was really good. And but it's funny. I thought my kids would want to try that, but no, they got cheeseburgers.
Oh, well, yeah.
But my son, he did get a cheese pupusa, and he said it was really good. So it was nice seeing my kids, try to venture out and try to, learn about our culture.
And I don't think I've ever had a pupusa.
You know what? I might have to take you.
I don't think I have.
To a place.
If I did, then I maybe I don't remember it, but.
You know what? We're going to make it happen this year.
Okay.
You took me kickboxing last year.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to take you to a pupuseria.
Yeah, but am I going to be as sore as you were?
Oh, yeah. I was dying that time.
Because then you had to go to Legoland like that week, too.
Oh, crazy times. But, so, I had a nice birthday.
Good.
Couple of days. I really did. It was a nice one. I like spending it with my wife's family, and then the next day with my dad and his new wife and my brother. He was there.
Okay.
So it was nice spending time with family.
Yeah.
You kind of forget about family sometimes. I mean, you spend time with your family all the time. You live with your dad.
Yeah.
You go see your mom on the weekends or something.
Yeah, usually.
So you're in there.
Yeah.
But me on my own, when I finally do get to see my dad, it's like, oh, you know what? It brings back all these memories. It's pretty nice. So I'm enjoying that. And then that Saturday, I went to the Pomona Fairplex.
Oh, okay.
Went to see some reptiles. It was a reptile show.
For like was it a show or an expo?
An expo.
Oh, okay.
It's funny because my daughter was like, "Where's the show? I want to see the show." I'm like, "Oh, it's not a show. Like you're not going to see lizards and turtles doing backflips into like fire rings and stuff."
The way I describe expos now is usually indoor swap meets.
Yeah,
that's really what they are. I mean,
that's basically what it is. And then the people that are like yearning for this day.
Yeah,
they're the people,
the big
honking.
fans. Oh yeah,
they're honking in the ticket booth because they're like, "Hurry up!
Yeah,
I want to get my 50% off a glass cage or whatever."
Yeah.
I'm like, because I was like, why are these people honking in line? Like relax, we're early. But yeah, people go crazy. They bring their wagons.
Yep.
So they can buy their gear for their reptiles. And you know what? It's fascinating to see because there is a huge reptile culture out there.
There is,
and they're all congregating at this one place, and everybody, for that moment, everyone's into reptiles at that moment. We were looking at the turtles, the lizards. Oh, you're not going to believe it. My wife actually bought something and brought it home. So you thought we had 2 dogs, a cat, 2 guinea pigs. But guess what?
You have a snake?
No, I would never get a snake. I'm scared that it would get loose. And then
then you'll be down a guinea pig?
Yeah. No. My wife bought 2 Madagascar hissing cockroaches.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah, so before we met, I guess she had one as a pet.
What the fuck?
Hey, talk to her. Not me. But I guess she had one as a pet, took care of him. Then when we got married, I think she was reminiscing about her time with the hissing cockroach. And I remember we had 1 or 2, and I think one ate the other. That's what we got down to 1. But I guess she couldn't contain herself. Oh, and my wife, she got herself a tattoo of a Madagascar hissing cockroach right here on her wrist. I mean, hey, when you're married, you don't.
Well, I mean,
you don't voice your opinions. You just say, "Oh, okay."
Whenever I hear Madagascar hissing cockroaches, I immediately go to Fear Factor. Yeah. That's like my only that's my only true reference to the cockroaches because of just them eating it. When he told me, my first thought was, she gonna eat it?
No, we got a little she got a little glass. What do you call it? A cage or
like a terrarium kind of
type thing. She said it was a good deal. I don't know. I was trying to find my daughter. We were coming to the end of Expo. Yeah. And my daughter's like, I wanted to buy something. I'm like, what do you want? She's like, a little turtle plushie. I'm like, We went around the whole thing twice just looking for this little turtle. And then my daughter, the youngest one, she's like, but what about me? I'm like, wow, what do you want? It has to be cheap, okay?
Yeah.
She's like, can I get the Pop-It thing that I saw? I'm like, fine, where is it? She's like, I think it's over here. We went around the whole thing twice again. And we finally found the little star Pop-It fidget thing. And I'm like, here you go. Well, they were all happy. But yeah, so we came back with 2 Madagascar hissing cockroaches. And I guess the guy who sold it to us, he threw in some extra little smaller cockroaches.
Okay. So
I don't know if they're in there anymore, if they got eaten. I don't know.
Or if they got out and they're infesting your house now.
Yeah. But it was really cool. What I saw, saw a lot of were these like half albino snakes with like a little bit of color on the sides. Right, it was a very weird pattern. And there was a lot of those, and I'm like, whoa, these are cool looking. But yeah, it was fun. I had a good time. And
is that like a yearly thing, or how did you find out about that? I mean,
it's usually my father-in-law that he finds out about all the expos. Like he goes to the LA Auto Show every year.
I've been wanting to go to that, but it's weird. I remember when it used to be in January, and now they're in like November, October.
Yeah, it's always around that time of the year now.
Yeah.
But yeah, my father-in-law finds these things, and then he either buys the tickets and say, hey, we're doing this thing, or he's like, hey, you guys are interested in this thing, and then we just go. And that wasn't the first time I went to the,
Oh, no.
to the expo. I've been there before, and yeah, you just, like you said, what'd you call it, a swap meet?
Yeah, it's an indoor swap meet. Yeah.
Everyone's just trying to sell you their stuff.
Yep.
Like, hey, we got this.
All the booths, all the vendors, all that stuff.
I love seeing the giant tortoises.
Oh yeah.
They're giant, man.
Yeah.
That's always a sight to see. We saw freezers full of dead mice. You know, you could buy dead mice.
Oh yeah,
frozen dead mice. The chameleons are always cool to look at.
Yeah.
Sometimes you see people walking around with their lizards on them.
Yeah.
That's always fun. And you know, they let you if you're interested in like holding the snake.
Oh yeah.
Some of the people they'll pull it out. I didn't want to do it, but yeah, it's always cool to see them, you know, out in the open. So yeah, that was a good time.
All right. Well, it's funny you went to an expo, and I went to an expo.
Oh.
But it's funny. It's like the complete almost kind of in a way, complete opposite of what you went to, where your stuff was all live, my stuff was all dead.
What? So where'd you go, and what was it called?
The Oddities and Curiosities Expo.
When was this? Was it in December or January?
January.
Oh,
It was the first weekend of January. It was January 6th.
Where was it at?
LA Convention Center.
Oh, cool.
Every year they have it there, and they tour the entire year. And this is their first stop.
Did you buy anything?
I did, actually.
Oh, what'd you get?
I got 2 books.
Oh, cool.
One on Satanism and exorcism, and then the other one on Wicca and witches.
Wow.
So, but that's nowhere near what Rory got. But I'll get into that in a bit, because I took some pictures of some of the things at the Oddities and Curiosities Expo.
All right, you want to send it to me and we'll post it up?
Yeah, and I'll even show it to you here, and you can kind of describe them, and then you can post them up later. But yeah, so it was my first time going. I guess they've been doing this since 2017. I think the whole expo thing.
Oddities and Curiosities.
Yeah. And like I said, every weekend they're in a different city. Then they travel literally up until like the weekend before Thanksgiving. They take a break for the holidays, and then the first weekend of January, they're back here in LA. So LA is the first stop. LA is the initial weekend for it. But yeah, Rory and his mom and whoever else they go to it almost every year since 2017. And they keep talking about how weird it is, but Rory's really into it, and I saw some of their pictures, and I've heard some of their stories, and one of our friends, Karen, went too. And I remember last year I heard like a lot of people talk about it, and I'm like, okay, well, clearly this is like a big thing. It's like a popular thing. So when this year he talked about it, I was like, well, why don't we go? I'll go with you guys. I'll check it out. And he was like, you want to go? I was like, yeah. It's like, yeah, be cool. He's like, are you sure? And I'm thinking to myself, like, what am I getting myself into? But I'm like, yeah, I'll go. Hadn't even looked at it on Instagram, because they have an Instagram page.
So what did you think prior to looking into it? What did you think this?
I just thought it was going to be.
What would you expect?
I was expecting taxidermy. I was expecting a lot of like weird and creative, like anomaly kind of stuff.
Like weird art, maybe.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, all that was there. Don't get me wrong, but still, I was like walking in, and I was just blown away by.
So what did you see that kind of took your breath away?
So first thing, right when we pulled up, we got parking. As we were walking through the convention parking to get to the actual convention center, people are walking around with taxidermy deer heads already.
Deer heads.
And I'm like, usually you don't see that until like you've hunted one and like you put it up on the wall. But people were walking around with the antlers and the heads. And we were just like, man, like, and we saw like 20 people walking around them. So we're like, man, like, is there like a fire sale on it? Like, what the, like, did they run out with them? Like, what's going on? And when we get there and we walk in, the first thing we saw was a group of people standing around a guy, and the guy brought his boa constrictor. And they were all putting it around the kids and all that stuff, taking pictures and everything like that. And we were like, not going to go over there, because I mean, it was cute though, because it even had a little cowboy hat on it. So he put it up on the head.
Wait, the boa constrictor?
The boa constrictor had a little cowboy hat on his head. And then after that, like as soon as we walked past like the little Oddities and Curiosities merchandise, like their own like name brand stuff, the first booth that we saw was this big booth of taxidermy. And
so
we were like, oh,
what animals did you see?
What animals didn't we see? Let's see. We saw
Cats?
Of course, a lot of deer. I don't know. No, honestly, there might have been a cat, but I didn't see
Dogs?
it. There were like dingoes.
Oh.
And they were coyotes.
Okay, so
there
like
was wolves,
wild animals.
Wild animals. But what made me laugh, and I'm showing you a picture of it right now, they taxidermied raccoons. And they put little boxes of candy on them.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's a raccoon holding a box of lemon heads.
Yeah.
And what's the green stuff on it?
Oh, that's like on its head?
Oh, it's a price tag?
Yeah, it's a price tag.
Okay,
It's a price tag. And that raccoon goes for $450.
Wow.
And then what it was also made me laugh was they had possums. Now, you know how possums can hang upside down because their tails are strong? So they had this one hang upside down with a beer can. And
oh, man, I know a friend, a coworker of mine, he would love that because he talks about always wanting to have a possum as a pet. And he loves beer. Oh,
yeah.
How much was that thing going for?
$450.
Dang.
Yeah. And then here's a little chipmunk in a rowboat.
Oh, I like that one.
That was going for
$350.
$300.
Dang.
Yeah. And then of course, then here's side by side. There's a raccoon and a possum both holding candy boxes.
Oh yeah, the possum's holding dots. I don't like dots. They get stuck in your teeth.
Yeah, they're not. The other one's Sour Patch. But if you look down here, if you look down here in the corner though, for $20, you can get a little alligator head.
Oh, that's cool. It's funny. My wife's watching Swamp People.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then my middle daughter's like, "Can you watch something else that's not so scary?
Like, can you not?" Like, and then here's a prairie dog stripping on like a pole dancer.
It's pole dancing. There's a deer behind it.
There's that's not a deer, but I believe that's an antelope because it's not like the branching. It's like the straight horns.
So a lot of wild animal taxidermy.
Yeah. A lot of like the rodent type taxidermy. The guy said was roadkill. He'd find it, and if it was intact still, he'd just, he'd taxidermy it and all that stuff. Everything else, people would actually donate. They'd, once they were able to get like the meat out of it and all that stuff, if they had like the skin left over or like the bones or whatever, they'd give it to him, and I guess he'd reconstruct him.
So you mentioned Rory bought something.
Yeah. So let me get through a few more pictures. One of the other things that we saw was a goat head.
Does it have a pentagram on its head?
Like a lot of weird stuff like that around there.
Okay. Yeah. What about the people like also participating? Are they
all walks of life? All walks of life.
Like, okay, what was the typical type of person that you would see there?
Probably,
because I mean, you're a normal dude,
right?
You wear your hoodie with your pants,
and I think I kind of stood out just a little bit
because they sniffed you out there like this guy's too.
You guys too clean. He's too clean.
He's too clean. Where's his boa constrictor?
No, but
you're like, no wait, but I got my book of Satanism.
No, it was.
Don't kill me.
Yeah, it was funny. It was like I kind of felt like I should have taken that out, like held around my neck or something like that. The way some were looking at me, I was like, no, like I'm into this shit too. Like, come on.
You should have been like, wait, can I borrow that taxidermy mouse? I just want to hold it.
But
you can see I'm one of them.
But I mean, a lot of like goth, a lot of like alternative, kind of people. But I mean, all walks of life. I mean, there are people there with their families. Like, I mean, quite literally kids. Going over there and just checking things out. I mean, but all walks of life. It's not just it's not like creepy guys or like I mean, there were people there that were like the full on like black metal kind of white and black face paint kind of stuff.
Saw that?
Yeah.
Wow.
There are people going around there. I mean, but like I said, there's all kinds of people that were there. And then there was these. They got a fox head, a possum head, and then I think actually those are two possum heads, and they put them on these angel dolls.
Oh, that's funny.
But the dolls move, so the arms would like swing side to side. It was one of those things where it's like you could like put like candles in their hands, and then you could like kind of twist them. It was very like like you see like in like manger displays and stuff like that. But they replaced them with animal heads.
So electronically it moves?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Plug it in, they start moving. Yeah.
That's insane.
These are actually the two books right here. I showed you.
Let's see. Wicca, The Way of the Witches, and then Satanism and Exorcism.
Yeah. And then these were Liz had told me about these, and I was like, okay, so they sound interesting. They're giant teddy bears.
Okay.
Okay, but you see there's something kind of weird.
Yeah, one looks kind of creepy, like it has fangs.
They're both.
Or something.
They both have. I don't know which animal this is, but it's definitely a cat of some kind. But they put in the cat teeth. Mountain lion or like tiger or something.
They put like the jaw of some.
The full on mouth,
like a mountain lion mouth. So it's a teddy bear.
It's a giant teddy bear.
But the mouth and jaw and the teeth, it's like an actual
right. Yep.
The bones of a mountain lion.
And then I don't know which animal this one came from, but they're not quite as sharp, but they're big. So they might be maybe like a wolverine or like a badger.
Oh, that's crazy.
But yeah, they had definitely like something like that. And these went for where's the sticker? Those were $250 each.
Crazy.
Yeah. And then here's one of the last things that I saw that I thought was kind of cute. It's the like a mummified skeleton of a little cat, but they got a ball of yarn next to it, making it seem like he's like stitching on his own fur.
So basically, just people going wild with their creative.
Yeah. I mean, and
dead things. And try to make an art piece.
But
out of it.
It's not even just that. It's just like, I mean, there's all kinds of levels of like horror related stuff too. Like I also bought.
Would you say it's horror related because it's a lot of dead things?
Not necessarily. I mean, I think that just kind of came with it. But there was like a lot of like, you know, T-shirts, a lot of posters that you can get, a lot of artwork done by hand that could have been like very gothic, very horror like. But I mean, there's also like other little crafty stuff, you know, like you can go in there, you can get like I don't know, Dracula headed salad tongs, you know, like all kinds of weird little knickknacks like that. A lot of antiques, a lot of old creepy looking antiques. Like there was booths of creepy like Victorian dolls and old ventriloquist dummies and but then I also bought so because at work we got to start wearing badges. I bought badge holders. And they're all like horror related badge holders. Like one of them says like, I'd rather be watching horror movies or something like that, you know?
Well, that was perfect for
right?
you.
But yeah, so, you know, all kinds of stuff like that. By the way, this is a sweatshirt. I should have worn it today, but I didn't think of it. That's the sweatshirt I got.
The Oddities and Curiosities Expo. Yeah. That's a cool design.
Yeah.
That's a cool design.
A lot of like their shirts were actually really cool. They had a long sleeve shirt that I was going to get, but I didn't really feel like paying $50 for a long sleeve shirt. So, I mean, you know, this was $60 itself. But so getting to what Rory bought.
Okay.
Now, Rory is into this kind of stuff. Like he is into this. He's into the whole macabre thing. He's into the gothic thing.
Yeah, I follow him on Instagram, and every time he posts like a story, it's always something eerie and dark.
Right.
It's its own style, and I understand it to a certain extent.
Yeah.
And it is interesting. And I wonder, I might have to ask him, like, how does one get into that? Like, I get that it exists. I get that it's artistic.
Yeah.
But I wonder how someone, like, finds that. Anyway.
The whole gothic thing? Or?
Yeah.
It's like, just, I mean, because
I remember seeing goth kids at school.
Right.
Just dressed all in black hair. Like you said, the white face.
Yeah.
Like, what, did they go to Hot Topic one day?
Maybe. No, I mean, no. A lot of like the goth kids, a lot of the emo kids. It started out by just you go into Hot Topic and you just. What's funny, actually, going back a little bit, or not really, a little bit of a side track. I'm listening to a podcast on the West Memphis 3. It's a murder thing where it took place in the height of the satanic panic here in the U.S. Where this kid was killed and mutilated, and they thought it was very rare. And because there was no definitive proof to show who did it, because it was such a small, like, religious held town, they immediately said, "Oh, well, it was a satanic ritual," just because they were afraid of it and they felt that it was coming to the town. So they went and they pointed out, or they fingered, fingered is kind of a bad way to say it. They
pointed out.
They accused the only 3 quote unquote goth kids in town, thinking that they were Satan worshipers.
Oh.
But one of the kids literally has because I mean they're all still alive. One of the ones that was accused literally said the only reason why he started dressing that way in all black was because some chick that he had a crush on said that he looked good in black. And I mean, like I said, it could start from something like that.
Something simple like that. My other thing is it could be like kids that are like, I don't like the whole preppy look.
That could be too.
So I just want to do the opposite just to stand out.
A lot of them do that too. It's like, they don't want to be conformed to the popular stuff. They want to do their own thing.
Yeah, I could say I definitely went through that kind of a phase where, growing up in like church, you expected to dress a certain way. And then when I discovered like pop punk music, like think Good Charlotte or something,
right?
With the jelly bands, remember the jelly bracelets? I'm like, I want to wear that. Everyone's wearing it. I want to look cool. And
they were more emo, like the way that they dressed was a little more punk / emo rather than gothic. Yeah,
it was a weird phase of the pop punk era. But yeah, you want to dress like. For me, it was like I want to dress like the people I saw on the cover of CD albums.
Right.
It's like, I want people to know that I'm not super clean, but I like punk.
But you know what? And then also a lot of it is that's just what they feel comfortable wearing. It's just when they put it on, they just feel confident, and that's what they kind of they like, and they could like the community, going out to concerts, and they might just feel, because it's funny, for as like dark and as like if you look at it like how you said religious, since how you grew up in religion, if you look at it, you're thinking like, oh man, that's a lot of evil. They probably a lot of assholes. They were some of the most kindest people. Like I bumped into I don't know how many people because of the crowding at booths, and not a single person said watch it or anything like that. It was like, oh sorry, it was like, you okay? Like it was very like welcoming, But
it's funny how you said like, oh, sometimes people just wear the clothes because it's comfortable. I remember when like skinny jeans were kind of cool.
They're still out there.
They're still around. I remember I used to I wanted like the tighter fitting.
Right.
And I just remember wearing those pants and always buying them because I thought they looked cool. Yeah. And they were the trend. But in reality, they were the most uncomfortable things ever. Like, try to sit down.
I think one time I bought a pair.
It was so uncomfortable, man.
Well, no, I tried putting on a pair, and I didn't know that in order for you to wear skinny jeans, you had to like go up like 2 or 3 sizes for them to fit.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm getting my size.
That's if you didn't get the stretch fabric,
right? Yeah. Well, I think this was like just before the stretch fabric, or like the stretch fabric was like too expensive at the time, or something like that. I remember trying to get them on, and I couldn't get them up over my knees. I was like, holy fuck! I was like, what the hell?
You must have had really big knees.
I did, yeah. As skinny jeans, I think one time I got a pair of tight jeans. They weren't skinny jeans. They were very, very fitting. And even then, I'm like, I still had some room in them, and I'm like, man, even these are uncomfortable. How the fuck can people go walking around with like the skinny ones? And of course, the one that I always saw were always the fat guys that wore the skinny jeans.
Oh yeah,
and it was like, Kool-Aid man, get some fucking bigger jeans, like it just did not fit. Like it was like 2 fucking drumsticks walking around on top of like this giant potato of a body. Like it just
skateboarding down the street.
Right, exactly. Yeah, they were even doing that.
You can't be comfortable. You can't bend.
No, yeah, you couldn't bend. You couldn't breathe. Like shit. I never understood it. I think one time I wore like those athletic like tights. Not really. I wouldn't say yoga pants, but like that kind of material, like you can wear for like being athletic and stuff.
Like joggers.
Joggers, yeah, but like the actual like spandex, like they're actually like actual tights. Yeah. And man, that was even uncomfortable. And those were meant to breathe. Like it was just, I don't know. I just can't fathom the whole skinny jean thing.
Have you noticed? The new trend that's come around with the women is the baggy.
Yeah.
Baggy jeans.
Well, you know what?
Super baggy.
Well, you know what? People, if you actually look at fashion repeats itself. Because remember, when we were in school, and I don't know if you remember this, but I remember this, as far as women fashion goes, bell bottoms were a thing. So like the 70s, like hippie bell bottoms.
Oh, yeah. And then our generation went through a bell bottoms phase. Right?
Yeah. And they brought them back. And so I think now we're kind of going through like a 90s phase right now where it's like
baggy jeans. Not the blue, like
it's
navy
not,
blue. It's
yeah,
like the washed blue.
Yeah, like the what is it, stone fade or stone wash or something like that. But
acid wash.
Yeah, but they're not like, it's not like baggy like you're wearing Jinko jeans or kind of baggy. It's just like relaxed fit,
like straight leg.
Right.
But
Yeah,
on women.
right. Yeah.
And I'm seeing it everywhere, and I'm like, you know what? I think I liked this.
It's a different style to see instead of seeing like tight where it's like, it's like, God, that can't be, it's uncomfortable, whereas now it's like, oh, they're actually dressing relaxed.
It looks relaxed.
Yeah. I mean, most of my stuff I think is getting a little baggy now, but we're going way off on it. Going back to what Rory bought.
Oh yeah, that's the only thing I cared about.
So there are two things that he bought. Something at the very beginning, something at the very end. What he bought at the very beginning, he named it Snow White, and you will see why.
Oh, is it Rachel Zegler?
No.
Oh.
It is Rachel Zegler. What the fuck is Rachel Zegler?
Isn't that her name? The new Snow White in the new Disney movie?
I have no idea.
Yeah, Rachel Zegler, Snow White. She's playing Snow White.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know they're doing another Snow White movie.
Oh, okay. All you have to do is say no. Rory did not buy Rachel Zegler.
No, I just thought maybe you were having some kind of like fantasy or something. But anyways,
okay, moving. Oh, it's like an albino squirrel.
Yeah, taxidermied albino squirrel.
Whoa!
So he bought that, and what's funny?
So you're telling me Rory, out of the corner of his eye, saw something and said, "I gotta have it."
No, it was at the same booth that we saw with all the other taxidermy. He walked up there, and we're looking at it all, and we were just like, "What the hell?" Like my first time really seeing it, but like they had like exotic stuff and all that, and like they had peacocks. You can get a taxidermy peacock for $2,000.
$2,000? That's crazy.
You can go up to PV, make them yourself.
You can run one over yourself.
You can, and then you can make it yourself, sell it for $2,000.
How do you taxidermy something though?
You'll have to talk to them. I know it's a lot of stuffing, I think, but I don't.
And doesn't the outside have to stay firm?
Yeah, so I don't. Like I said, I'm not too sure, but so when he was up there, he was talking. He was talking to him, and he saw an albino, and he goes, "I've never seen an albino squirrel," and it was the only one on the booth, so he snatched it up. And what's funny is that
how much? Do you know how much you paid for an albino squirrel?
Let me. It's honestly, it's got to be at least $250.
All right,
at least,
Well, that sounds like a good deal since you were saying the others, raccoons were $450,
and a lot of the people that were there were saying that they're regulars for his booth every year, or they follow him and all, because it was like a whole. That's his company. Is this guy does it from Oklahoma? And they said that the prices that he was doing there were at least half of what he normally charges. So that's why people were buying him like crazy, is because they're like, we don't know when this is going to be this low again. So imagine that. So if those things were $450, that means that there were $900 usual at least.
I think Rory got a good deal. I mean, albino, that's rare.
Yeah, and what was funny was that he was carrying it around like he was. I wouldn't say holding it like a baby, but he was holding it as he was walking around, and people were stopping him and saying, "That is the cutest thing I've ever seen. Where did you get it?" It was like at least every like maybe 20, 30 feet, I would always hear someone say, "Oh my God, that's the cutest thing. Oh, look what he's got. Oh, I want one." It's like, so it was a big thing.
He knew it was going to be a showstopper.
Yeah. So that was the first thing. Now this last thing.
At the end of the day, okay.
At the end of the day, yes. In fact, let me take off the filter that I have on my phone, the whole eye comfort shield thing, so you can really kind of get like a good view. So this is the second thing, and this is the other thing that he bought. But he made sure he bought it at the end because he didn't want to carry it around all day.
All right. Oh, I think I saw him post this on social media.
Probably.
It looks like an albino snake. In a jar.
Yeah, it is. So the two big main sellers there were taxidermy and what they call wet specimens, which is when you put something in liquid in a jar.
It's funny because there was a booth at the Reptile Show where they had, reptiles. Even there was like a baby bird. And then these ladies that were promoting their jars with stuff, they're like, my daughters were like, "Oh, what's that?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, it's a pet."
Yeah.
And this is a good pet because it'll last forever. You don't have to feed it.
Yeah.
They're like trying to talk it up. you know?
Yeah.
It was funny. But yeah, I saw some of that same kind of thing at the Reptile Show.
And Rory already has a few specimens prior to this. Like he's got one, I think it was 2 pig, 1 head.
Oh.
And then he has a baby turtle that's 1 body, 2 heads.
Wow.
So he's got a few. So he's got that one, and that one we named Alfredo. But yeah, I mean, he's one that really gets when he got that for $200. They had it marked for $250, and at the end of the day, he walked back up to the booth and was like, it's end of day, and I'm not sure if you guys really want to get it off your hands, but would you do $200? And they were like, yeah, sure. He thought it would be a lot more negotiating, but it was just quite like, yeah, sure, we'll do $200. Go.
Nice.
They bagged it up for him and walked off.
Sometimes you just got to shoot your shot.
Yeah, and
you never know.
What was kind of heartbreaking in a way, more for Rory than it was for me, because I mean, I'm not really into wet specimens. Somebody dropped theirs in the early on when we got there.
Oh no!
So yeah.
Do you know what it was?
I want to say it was a snake. For the size of the container that fell, it had to have been some kind of snake.
Oh, that's sad.
So yeah. So. But from what I heard, as long as the specimen itself isn't damaged, you can just get another jar, put in. And the only thing that they put it in now, they used to put in formaldehyde, but they realized that formaldehyde was actually hazardous to people's health. So now they use alcohol, just isopropyl alcohol, and you change it, I think, like every 3 months to keep it fresh and all that stuff. So, but yeah. So,
well, speaking of all that death and stuff, is it okay with you if I do a quick commercial for one of our simple sessions that we did on the Simple Times podcast?
Yeah.
The Reverend Jim Jones episode.
Oh, okay. Which I still haven't listened to yet.
It's all right, Marcelo. But I just want to plug that in right now because it's so fitting with everything that we're talking about.
With all the death, the grim, and the destruction.
Yeah. So I just want to share with our maybe new listeners, we have simple sessions on this podcast where we kind of hone in on a specific topic, or in the past I've done an interview with someone I know. But the last simple sessions we did was on Reverend Jim Jones, and he was what would you call him? Serial killer, mass murderer,
I'd say, yeah.
And it was a very, very good episode. And I just want to give it the credit that it deserves. Go back, check it out. Marcelo and I went in depth with this mass murderer, and if you're into that kind of stuff, like crime,
true crime
history, here on Simple Times Podcast, we dabble in that little stuff. And Marcelo said that the next one we want to do is what'd you say, Heaven's Gate?
Heaven's Gate. I was just going to say the next one I'm going to send you, which I'll probably do. Actually, let me do it right now, so this way I don't forget again.
Yeah. So, check it out. If you need something to listen to, if you're enjoying this podcast and you want to go back and listen to topic-specific episodes that we create, look for the simple sessions. We got a bunch in our catalog. Just right there on our podcast feed. You could just scroll down and check out simple sessions. What did we title that one? It was Don't Drink the Kool-Aid.
Don't Drink the Kool-Aid, yeah.
So look for Don't Drink the Kool-Aid. That was a good one. And Marcelo, you need to listen to our old stuff. Come on.
I know.
I know. Be an example.
One more thing before we stop talking about the oddities. I just thought these were funny. Kind of show that some of the other weird stuff. Do you see what's up here on my phone right now? That's a backpack.
It looks like a frog or something.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's what it is. It's like a toad. But up on top, you can't really see it. But on top of the head, there's 2 holes because they had little hats that you could interchange with them. Like they had one that had like Mickey ears, and they had one that had a cowboy hat and all that kind of other kind of stuff.
Is that taxidermy?
No.
Oh.
No. Okay. This is like I don't know if it's either like a rubber or if it was like a plastic, but it's not real. It's all like molded kind of stuff. So.
All right, that's way too funny. That was a funny picture, but anyway, Marcelo, remember we talked about that game? So, we're talking about death stuff, horror. I got a game for you.
Okay, give me 1 second. Sending one more episode to you.
All right, send it to me, and I'm just gonna segue into this game. Where did I put it? Right here. Okay, so I wanted to do this game with you.
Okay.
I'm kind of ad-libbing. I want to see how it goes. Hopefully it goes well. Hopefully it's as fun as I think it will be. But it's a trivia game because you did talk about Nosferatu. We're talking about all this death horror stuff, weird stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I want to quiz Marcelo. So
okay.
I'm titling this game Nosferatu, Yes-feratu.
Okay.
So it's just it's kind of like a yes or no game.
Okay.
So if the answer is yes, you say yes.
Yes-feratu. Okay.
If the answer is no,
Nosferatu.
Nosferatu. And
okay.
This is about the movie Nosferatu.
Okay.
It's about the original film that came out in 1922.
Yeah.
And another reason why I wanted to do this is because I know you saw the film. And I knew you were going to review it on a Fear and Review.
Yep.
So I want to see what you know.
Okay. All right. I'll see. Let's see how well I do.
All right. Here we go. First statement.
Off to a great start.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out how to word it. Okay. Nosferatu has a subtitle, and the subtitle is A Symphony of Magic.
Nosferatu.
Ding, 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 ding. You got it correct. The subtitle in the movie is Nosferatu, A Symphony of Horror.
Yeah, okay.
Very good, very good. You got 1 point. All right, ready for number 2?
Give it to me.
All right. The movie has a lot of subtitles because it's a silent
film.
And Count Orlok is referred to as a death bird in those subtitles.
This one I'm gonna say yes-feratu.
Ding, 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 ding.
All right.
That is true. Yeah, Count Orlok is referred to as the death bird. You're doing a great job, man. Yeah. I'm very impressed. Number 3. Ellen is upset when Hutter gives her flowers because she is upset that he has killed the flowers.
To be honest, I don't even remember the names of these. Hutter, you said?
Hutter? Is there a character named Hutter?
Maybe in the original. Because I know in the new ones it's Thomas. And nobody in the new one gave any dead flowers. So I'm gonna say Nosferatu.
It's Yes-feratu. Yeah, I guess Ellen her reaction is that she's upset because he has killed the flowers. She's sad that her husband has killed the flowers by picking them. Not that he is leaving, because she does not know this yet.
Huh. Okay.
Anyway. Let's see. Number 4. Knock refers to Transylvania as the country of ghosts.
I'm going to say that's Nosferatu. Okay. Country of Ghosts?
It's Nosferatu.
Really?
Knock. Is there a character named Knock? We got to remember, I haven't seen the film, but so when I'm reading these, I'm like, I don't know what I'm talking about. So that's why I'm trying to word it properly.
The last time I saw the original was when we did the episode. So I'm trying to think. I don't think that they had those names in the
subtitles anywhere.
No, in the remake one that we just saw. Because they were all like very like English names, like Thomas and stuff like that. So
interesting. Let's see. All right, this is gonna be an easy one.
Okay.
Hutter gets hurt in the castle. Count Orlok sees his blood. Hutter cuts his finger while slicing bread.
Now see, this is where it gets fuzzy, because so we're talking about the original. And the original, I'm gonna say that was Nosferatu. No. Because I remember watching not only the original, but then when we were also watching a movie called what was it? Shadow of the Vampire, which was a movie about the making of the movie Nosferatu. I'm assuming Hutter is gonna be the real estate guy that goes to try to have him sign the papers. He doesn't cut himself on bread. He gives himself a paper cut, laying out the papers.
Interesting. Well, it says here, he notices Count Orlok staring at him, loses concentration, and cuts himself. Well, that's in the 19.
Because I believe that he does cut himself, or that character does cut himself in the Dracula movies. He's cutting bread and then he cuts himself, and that's when he realizes. But I think in the original Nosferatu, he cuts himself on the paper. He gives himself like a pretty deep paper cut, I believe. I'm pretty sure about it though.
Interesting. Okay, we're gonna do one more because I don't know if this is going as well as I would have hoped. But let's see. In the book that Hutter reads about vampires, it is said that werewolves' shadows is causing him to have nightmares.
Werewolf shadows? So if it's werewolf, I'm going to say it's Nosferatu then.
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, that was an easy one. All right. Well, that's enough of that game.
Yeah, I think so.
Next time, I'll try to have the modern film questions ready. But see, it's hard because I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
But anyway.
And what's funny is that earlier today on Prime Video, I saw that. So you know how the original 1922 was in black and white, right? Well, I guess they somehow, some way through, I don't know if it's just modern time or if they restored it, they actually have Nosferatu, the original, in color.
Wow.
So that would be an interesting one. So I think I'm going to pitch it to Rory that when we do the Nosferatu, the new one, we'll also watch the colored one and the colored version, and just to kind of just reminisce about it and try to compare them. So
yeah, that does sound fun. So yeah, 1922 Nosferatu. That is like trying to bring up history, don't you think?
Yeah. So speaking of,
it's time for
History with Hefe.
on this day, January 18th, 1788, first elements of the first fleet carrying 736 convicts from England to Australia arrives at Botany Bay to set up a penal colony. Because you do know that Australia's like origins is that they were basically a penal colony for England.
Penal colony?
Prison. That's where, like, if you were convicted of a prisonable offense, you go to Australia. Yeah.
Just hang out with the kangaroos.
And the wallabies.
And the crocodiles.
Yeah.
And Bluey.
That's why, like, is Bluey from there?
I think he's Australian.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that, but
isn't he an Australian dingo?
Oh no, I think he's an Australian sheephound.
Sheepherd,
something like that. But anyways, Australia. That's why, like, the actual tribal or the Aborigines, and they're darker, but the regular Australians that we think of are the white ones, and the reason why they sound like they speak like British. It's because originally
British.
It's because originally they were.
You gotta say it without the T.
British. 1871, Second German Empire proclaimed by Kaiser Wilhelm I and Otto von Bismarck, the two people that were also fighting in, I believe, the First World War. 1943, Soviets announced they have broken the long siege of Leningrad by Nazi Germany by opening a narrow land corridor through the siege. Though the siege would not be fully lifted until a year later. So that was when Nazi Germany basically took over Leningrad, and then Soviets took over went back and fought the Nazis out, and I think that was even like one of like the very first losses, like major losses for Nazi Germany, because they wanted to spread east and go into Russia, but it was too cold for them. They weren't used to the Russian winters, and the Russians were, so they were able to fight back and really give them hell. Although Leningrad is very west in Russia. So today in film and TV, in 1974, The $6 Million Man, starring Lee Majors, premieres on ABC.
$6 million. I've heard of it. What is that?
So it was a guy that I can't. What was he? I don't know what he did. I don't know if he was an athlete or what, but he got into some kind of major accident, and they spent $6 million on him, and they basically made him like an android, like a robot. So he's got all these upgrades inside, and it's all mechanical, and so that's why he's able to, like, like the whole, like, din 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 din, like whenever like someone would jump, and they would add like that sound effects, like that din 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 din. It came from $6 Million Man, because when he would jump, they would do that to make it seem like he was going super far. And because of all the enhancements and all that stuff. So
interesting.
Today in music, in 1980, Pink Floyd's double album The Wall hits number 1. Did you ever listen to Pink Floyd at all? Did you ever get into them?
Into them, I can't say I've gotten into them, but they have their hits.
Yeah. I mean, I've listened to Dark Side of the Moon maybe once. A lot of people say that, well, you have to really be high in order to really appreciate Pink Floyd. So,
it's funny. I delivered this package to this one customer, and I could tell it was like a record. And I was dropping it off to him. And this guy, I see him from time to time there. I don't even know. Yeah, I think he lives there, or I don't know what he's doing there.
Right.
But he's always drinking his whiskey, and when he saw me coming up with his record, he's like, oh yeah, man, that's my Judas Priest, man. This is the best album ever, Judas Priest.
Breaking the law.
And I was like, oh yeah. And I felt odd, like a loser, because I'm like, I didn't want to tell him, yeah, I don't really think I've heard any Judas Priest.
You have.
I have.
Yeah. Well, the song I just said, breaking the law. It's been in movies, it's been in TV, so yeah.
I've heard
you've heard him. You just didn't realize you were listening to Judas Priest. Yeah.
Okay. I just felt like I don't know anything.
But yeah, and in fact, they say that if you listen to Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon, and you play it at the same time of you watching The Wizard of Oz, it syncs up. I don't know how, but yeah. And then of course, people say if you get high, you fucking space out and trip out, and yeah, it's just a whole thing. But I'm not a big fan. I've listened to them, and I don't get it. So, but Rory, who partakes in the green stuff, He fully understands the Pink Floyd music. So,
all right.
Today in sports, in 1983, IOC restores Jim Thorpe's Olympic medals, the pentathlon and the decathlon victories, 70 years after they were taken from him for being paid $25 in semi-pro baseball.
Speaking of pro baseball and decathlon, this is one guy on my route. He said he played professional baseball. He's like a 70, 80-year-old man now. But he said he played professional baseball. I forgot what team he said. But then he was also boasting how he did one of those Ironman competitions.
Yeah.
And that he completed, and he got like out in third place or something.
Okay.
But anyway, he's a fun guy to talk to. He's always in like high spirits too. He's like, "Hey, here comes the mailman. Thank you so much. Have a great day."
Did you ever get his name?
Well, his name is Larry Birch.
Okay, well let's Google him real quick. Larry Birch. Let's do a quick one. Larry, not Jerry. Larry Birch. B-U-R or B-I-R?
B-U.
B-U Birch. Let's see.
Oh, minor leagues.
Oh, he played in the minor leagues? I'm seeing someone, Little League International members, California District 31 Administrator Larry Birch, resident of Oceanside, California.
I'm seeing shortstop.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll have you keep looking that one up, just because, I mean, that'd be pretty cool if he really was, you know. Moving on with this day in history, or history of Hefe, I'm sorry. Famous birthdays. We got Oliver Hardy, born on this day in 1892. You ever see Laurel and Hardy?
No.
When you see him, you'll notice that a lot of like Looney Tunes, a lot of like old cartoons like that, kind of made fun of his image, because he did have a very comical image, especially with having a very popular mustache at the time that was ruined by someone later on in the 1930s.
Oh yeah, I think I've probably seen that guy.
Yeah, these guys were vaudeville guys. These were basically the Stooges before the Stooges.
Oh, cool.
So they did a lot of that. The whole thing was like, the straight man and the fat man. And back then, think of like an Abbott and Costello. Like the straight man was the skinny guy, and the funny man was the fat guy. Well, in their thing, it was the opposite. The straight guy was the fat guy, and the funny guy was the skinny guy. So that kind of what made it different is when you think like the fat guy is the funnier one. No, he's the straight man. He's the one that knows. He's the intellectual one.
Interesting.
Also born this day in 1904 was Cary Grant. And I'm talking like this because this is how he talked. He was a famous actor, and he acted in what was the one? Is it Vertigo? No, Grant. North by Northwest. You probably won't really notice. You don't recognize him at all?
I can't say. He looks like he was in It's a Wonderful Life or something.
No, it's the comedy films as The Awful Truth, Bringing Up Baby, His Girl Friday, and The Philadelphia Story. But he worked in Alfred Hitchcock with To Catch a Thief and North by Northwest.
Interesting.
So, but no, he's a very, very good actor, or was, I should say. He died. Other celebrity birthdays. Kevin Costner celebrates his 70th birthday today. And then I know you won't know who this is, but Angelique Kerber. She's a famous tennis player. She celebrates her 37th birthday today. She might be, I believe she's retired now, or soon to be retired. 37 is up there in age for tennis players. For really any athlete.
Yeah, for any athlete.
Fun fact about today, on this day, January 18th, in 1644, perplexed pilgrims in Boston reported America's first UFO sighting.
What year?
1644.
UFOs in 1644.
Think about it. UFOs technically aren't necessarily aliens, but they just happen to see some type of flying object in the sky that they couldn't identify, and so they reported it to whoever it is that they reported to back in 1644, and came out as history's first UFO sighting.
Interesting.
So going through the famous weddings, 1486 on this day, King Henry VII of England marries Elizabeth of York, daughter of Edward IV. Famous divorces. In 1996, the Princess of Rock, Lisa Marie Presley, files for divorce from King of Pop, Michael Jackson, in New York City. Famous deaths in history on this day. We got rock legend from the Eagles, Glenn Frey. He died on this day in 2016. And then also very, very popular Hall of Fame pitcher, as well as I believe he was even I think he was a coach. Let me see, was he a coach? No, I guess he wasn't a coach. But he was a very, very famous pitcher for Dodgers, for Angels, for for a few other teams. But Don Sutton, you won't know who he is, but he died on this day as well. And here's a little fun fact. Speaking of Cary Grant, he was actually asked to be James Bond before. What's his name now?
Pierce Brosnan?
No, way before that. For the first one, Sean Connery.
Oh, Sean Connery.
Before Sean Connery was picked, they wanted Cary Grant.
Wow.
So, which would have been very, 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 very odd, because the way when you watch a Cary Grant movie and you hear how he talks, it just does not sound sexy like a James Bond character would. So it just.
Is it true that I heard they're making a new James Bond, but it's going to be like a black woman?
No.
They're trying to make it a woman.
That I heard. They wanted initially they wanted the girl from the X-Files. They were going to have her do it. I mean, there's always speculation for it. But last I heard, they haven't picked anybody for it. Some are saying Tom Hardy would be a good pick. Some have said that Aaron Taylor Johnson, the guy who played Kick-Ass and played Kraven on the latest movie, he'd be a good one. A very, very popular pick for a long time has been Idris Elba.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's a ton that have been speculated and rumored, but nothing.
I think Daniel Craig was my favorite. Like, he was just
he would.
Awesome.
Yeah, to
and
me,
all the stunts and stuff.
Yeah, to me, I think that's like the epitome of like what you want to see out of a Bond. Like the physicality and everything.
Yeah, because he was more stunts and
Right.
running and
Yeah.
jumping.
Yeah.
Where I think the Pierce Brosnan was more like gadgets.
Well, Pierce, if you watch GoldenEye, he was very, very physical with GoldenEye. But it was after that. I mean, he was a little physical in Tomorrow Never Dies, but you got to remember he was also older than what Daniel Craig was. I want to say Daniel Craig, when he started, he was like in his early 40s, and I think when Pierce Brosnan started, he was maybe early 50s. So, I mean, no different age gap, but also the different stories too. The stories that I believe Pierce Brosnan were doing weren't so physical as Daniel Craig's. But yeah, there's a lot of gadgets on that one. Sean Connery also did a great job of doing some of the stunts. Roger Moore. I can't think of the other two actors that have played Bond as well. But yeah, no, Daniel Craig was a really good one. And also I did like how they went from his first movie, from being one of like a very, very early on young Bond, where he didn't even have his 00 status yet, to where in the end it was like the end of his career of being Bond. So I did like that whole span of showing the aging of James Bond. So, but all that before going there, that was History with Hefe.
All right. Thank you, Marcelo, for enlightening us with all that history.
Well, I got one more thing to enlighten you with, and since we're winding down the episode, we got, let me enlighten you with some Simple Times news.
Marcelo, I'm going to pass it off to you. I don't have any news today.
I just have the one.
And I'll be honest, I'm falling asleep over here.
Yeah.
I'm tired. I didn't think I would be this tired, but yeah. So I'm going to let you take the reins.
So this comes from our friends at the AP.
And that stands for?
The Associated Press.
Associative?
Isn't that what I just read? Associative Press?
Associative or associated?
Let me see. Just keep seeing the AP right now.
Who's the one screwing it up now, huh?
The Associated Press.
Yeah, associated. Don't roll your eyes at me.
Who used to call it the alternative press?
You just had to bring that up. Let's get to the news.
All right, so coming out of Rome,
Ooh.
the partners with the Rome AP, Lazio has fired soccer club has fired the man who handled the Italian soccer club's eagle mascot after he posted photos and videos online of his own prosthetic penis.
Oh, Marcelo.
Falconer Juan Bernabe shared the images on his private social media accounts after undergoing surgery for a penile implant, which he said was for non-medical reasons. Bernabe also gave an interview to controversial Italian radio show La Zanzaria on Monday and elaborated on his reasons for undergoing the procedure. Bernabe added that he felt very proud and more masculine being part of Lazio. The Serie A club clearly did not feel the same as it fired the Spaniard shortly afterward. Shocked to see the photographic images and video of Mr. Juan Bernabe and to read the statements that accompanied them, Lazio announces that it has stopped with immediate effect all relationship with this person given the seriousness of this behavior, the Capital Club said in a statement. The club realizes and shares the pain that the fans will feel at the loss of the Eagle in the next home games, but believes that this is not possible to be associated with the person who, by his own initiative, has made the continuation of the relationship unacceptable. The eagle, a bird that symbolizes ancient Rome, traditionally flies over Stadio Olimpico before home games. Bernabe said he has no regrets about sharing the images. Lazio suspended Bernabe in 2021 when he was filmed performing a fascist salute at the end of a match and chanting "Duce, Duce," which was the name of the praised former fascist Italian leader Benito Mussolini. I admire him so much, Bernabe added in Monday's radio interview. So it just sounds like overall he is just a piece of shit.
So there was a lot
in
that news. Let me see if I figured it out. Okay, I'm trying to decode this thing. A guy who played the mascot for a soccer team.
He didn't play a mascot. He was the, you know how like you got like falconers, which, you know, like the guys that are in charge of like the Falcons. Well, he's in charge of he's the caretaker for the eagle.
Okay, so he's a caretaker for an actual
eagle. And there's a picture here of him holding on to the eagle.
Okay, so the people that you see, and then they fly, the eagle's on a post, and then you say, "Come here, eagle," and then it flies and lands on your arm.
Exactly like that. Yeah, you say, "Come here, eagle." Yeah,
so
exactly.
So this is that guy.
This is that guy.
And he took pictures of his...
He took pictures of his prosthetic penis and video. Prosthetic, which was a penile implant that he said was non-medical, so it was cosmetic.
Okay, an implant. Okay.
And photos and videos and shared them to his private account. But then somehow made its way back to Lazio, which is the soccer club.
And this guy, he was just the eagle guy.
He was just the eagle guy.
Got an implant because he was proud of what he does?
He was proud and felt more masculine when he came into the soccer club, being part of the soccer club. And I guess just felt, hey, why not?
Let me just take pictures and videos and post it on.
After I got my new dick, yeah.
Just want to show it to the world.
Yep, show it off.
And so then,
but this was like the last straw, because then it said back in 2021 he gave a fascist salute honoring Mussolini, who was a fascist dictator back in World War II. Who he had even openly admitted that he admires him and thinks that's his hero. So
that would be like the equivalent of, I don't know, saluting Hitler or something. Like, oh, I love Hitler. He's a great guy. I love what he did. So something similar to that.
Yeah.
Plus, he decided to take explicit photos of himself
And video.
and video, and he posted it on social media.
Yes, yeah. It's set on his private social media account. Yeah.
And then word got out, and
Yep.
they said, "Sorry, you can't handle the Eagles anymore.
I can't be part of the club. Yeah.
Can't be part
Yeah.
of the club because of that."
Yeah. When you're part of a soccer club or like something like that high, you have to be very, very careful, even on your private stuff.
What country is it? Rome?
The club is in Rome. The club is Italy, called
Italy.
It's on a soccer league called Series A.
Yeah, you know what? It makes sense because those Europeans, they take their soccer seriously.
Oh yeah.
So
But he himself is a Spaniard who worked for an Italian soccer club.
wow. Well, thank you, Marcelo.
Yep. So that's Simple Times News.
That's Simple Times News for today because I've got nothing today. So let's just jump right into it. Are you ready to do
I am.
the longest running segment on Simple Times podcast? We're going to try to finish this off under 2 hours. It's time for Jokes with
So as we are recording this on January 18th, we are also coming at the tail end, I won't say tail end, but towards the end of the worst brush fire here in LA. In fact, let me just pull up. I can actually real quick. According to Cal Fire, now mind you, this is all in California. Where are you going? The main fire that everybody's worried about is the Palisades fire right now.
Yeah, that's the big one.
And as of now, on January 28th, 2025, at roughly 10:30 p.m., they are at 49% containment, and 23,713 acres have been burning.
That's a lot,
for
man.
just a little over a week. I mean, it started on January 7th.
Yeah,
so we're here
on my birthday.
Yeah. And then the other one was the Eaton fire, which still is a pretty big fire. I mean, that decimated Altadena and parts of, I think, northern Pasadena, which, people are like, oh, yeah, there's Pasadena, Altadena, okay. That's where a lot of famous movies were filmed. Like the fair, I think the Ferris, no, was it the Fair, no, not the Ferris Bueller house, the Step Brothers house.
Oh, okay.
Burnt down, gone. Poltergeist 2 house burnt down, gone. Like that. Whereas the Palisades fire was burning the houses of actors and famous people, the Altadena house was burning popular houses, pop culture houses that you recognize.
Right.
And yeah, so the Eaton fire was at 73%. Then there was the Hearst fire, but that one was contained. Then there was the Otto fire that started in Oxnard. That one was contained pretty quick. But yeah, so right now, currently, the Palisades fire and the Eaton fire are still burning. Eaton fire is, of course, 73%. Like I said, Palisades fire at 49%. So definitely getting better. But in wake of doing. In wake of those fires, I thought we should do firefighter jokes.
Oh, firefighter joke. I was like, man, you're giving us all these stats that are depressing and sad. I just came here to laugh.
So over our friends over at boardpanda.com, they gave a list of firefighter jokes.
All right.
And they say they're firefighter jokes to have you looking for an oxygen tank.
Oh.
So we'll see if that's true or not. What were the two sons of the Spanish firemen named?
Hose and...
You're close. They were named Jose and Hose B.
Okay, you got me.
What kind of web browser do firefighters use? Mozilla Firefox.
Mozilla Firefox, because it has fire in it.
Yeah. What would happen if the fire chief and newbie jumped out of a house on fire one day? The chief would land first because the newbie would stop and ask others for directions.
Okay.
What happened to the firefighter who wasn't doing well in his job?
He got fired.
Yep. If a plumber's career also had the possibility of going down the drain, then can a firefighter's career go up in smoke? The fire department and the firemen tried to save the bakery, but by the time they got there, things were already toast. What was the thing that firefighters happened to say when the church caught on fire in the small town? Holy smoke! How do you get down from an aerial ladder? You don't get down from an aerial ladder. You get down from a duck. I'm going to hope that a lot of these that a lot of these jokes are making the firefighters really crack up, because
You get down from a duck. Maybe it's some fireman terminology.
Yeah.
Maybe the firefighters listening to our podcast, they're cracking up right now.
yeah, right. What should you call a fireman who is very motivated and pumped up? You should call him a fired up man. What was the one thing that firefighters saved during a fire? They always save the foundation.
Okay.
Why doesn't the deputy firefighter look out of the window in the early morning? Because he needs to have something to do in the afternoon. Again, these must be cracking up the fire department. How many firemen does it take to change a light bulb? You will actually need 5 to change a light bulb, 1 to change it, while the others will cut a hole in the roof and hold the ladder.
Well, that's because they cut a hole in the roof to let the heat escape and the smoke, right, to go up.
Yeah.
That's what I'm... If you're a firefighter listening to Simple Times Podcast, write to us.
What did the father reply when the son asked him what the least favorite letter of a firefighter is?
F.
He said, R, son.
Our son. That's a good one.
Why was the man arrested for pulling out 5 men from the burning building? Because he had pulled out all the firefighters. No?
Try it one more time. I think I missed something.
Why was the man arrested for pulling out 5 men from the burning building?
Oh, okay. So the joke started off with, why was the man?
And it was because, because he pulled out all the firefighters.
In there,
Yeah.
kept them from doing their job. Yeah. Okay, got it.
Firefighters are known for their positivity. That's because they always look at the brighter side of things. The only way to inform the fire department about a fire is to call them on the hotline.
Call them on the hotline.
The only food that firemen like to get on a busy day is a hot dog.
I don't think they're laughing at that one.
What would you say when a firefighter is smoking a cigarette? Hey man, put it out. Why do many fire departments keep Dalmatians? Because they assist them in looking for hydrants. Get it? Because dogs piss on hydrants? Okay.
Yeah, I get it.
We'll just do the last one because I think we're both getting pretty tired. Let's see. No, that one's not good. What sound do you hear when a dragon sneezes? Fire alarms. Oh, here's a good one. What's on every fire department's menu? 5-alarm chili.
5-alarm chili. Is that a brand?
No, that's what they're. Fire. It's been dated or documented that firehouses are known for making chili.
Oh.
I don't know what the origins is to that. I don't know if it's because it's just quick and you can make big pots of it and it lasts for a while. But 5-alarm, like there's different, like the different. I'm explaining it so it's not gonna really be as funny. Whenever like a house is on or like a structure's on fire, they'll call it a 1-alarm fire. Basically means you just set off. You call one firehouse. And then that house approaches, so it's usually a smaller fire. And then if it's a little bigger, you call it 2-alarm. If it's even bigger, you call it a 3-alarm. Any bigger, then it's a 4-alarm. And anything over a 4-alarm is basically like a catastrophe. And they're also ranking that by the heat of the chili. Yeah. 1-alarm, 2-alarm, 3-alarm, 4-alarm, 5-alarm. So
Got it.
Not so funny after that. Trey explained it, huh?
A little funny.
He's a little funny.
All right. Thank you, Marcelo, for those jokes.
Oh,
that was jokes with Hefe. Man, I'm tired, man.
Yeah, I know. I can see you're getting like loopy almost.
It's because you popped a squat for like half an hour in my bathroom.
It was not that long.
We had a late start.
It was not that long.
Every time we try to start early, something happens.
Yeah, I agree with, but I was not on the can for 30 minutes.
It was a long time.
TikTok's down. I couldn't be on the toilet for that long. What am I supposed to do on there?
I don't look for taxidermy deals on eBay or something.
Ooh, that's a good idea. I should probably look at that, yeah. Start planning Rory's next Christmas.
Oh, hey. Quick question before we sign off here.
Uh-huh.
What'd you end up doing with the extra Krampus shirt? Because so on the Christmas special, I gave you the Krampus shirt. It was too small. I got you a bigger size.
Yep.
But then Amazon said, "Don't return the small one. Just keep it."
Yeah.
I gave it to you. What did you end up doing with the extra Krampus shirt?
Technically, I still have it.
You're all like, I can give it to this person.
But and that's the thing is that like I literally went down my phone book and going, who the hell on here can fit into a medium? Like everybody that I know is big. Like
you went through your whole phone
I literally
book,
did.
And then you were like,
I literally did. I'm sitting there going through it and like
you were just like, Christy, that's it?
No, but pretty close. I'm going through it all and going, Karen, she's probably the only one that could fit into a medium. Like I'm going and I'm looking at it like, okay, like, no, she won't fit. No, he won't fit. No. Because then I was like, Andrew, I was like, no, he can't fit. I was like, my boss was like, no, he doesn't fit. And I'm looking through it. I'm like, okay, who else? I'm like, Boss Baby. No, he won't fit. I'm like, oh man, I'm literally going through like my entire phone book, and I'm just like, fuck, like I don't know anybody that could fit into a medium, like comfortably at least. That would, And then also, if I did happen to find someone that was like, oh, they might fit it, I'm like, well, they're not really into the Krampus thing, so maybe they won't do it. So
yeah.
So you do have to think about that way too. But yeah, no.
They're still working on it.
Well, no. Karen said that. My friend Karen said that she would take it off my hands.
Oh, cool.
It just I haven't seen her yet.
Right.
So yeah. So she said. So she said she'll take it.
I'm glad it's going to good
it's right
use.
It's right up her alley. She's into horror movies, and I believe she should be able to fit into a medium.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah,
right.
it'll be gone soon. It'll be gone within the next week, hopefully.
Well, good to know it's going to a good cause.
Yep.
Or good person, I should say.
And then I also had to find out who wouldn't mind twinning with me. So
nice. Well, before we leave and turn this one off, real quickly, follow us on social media. We are on Instagram. That's the number one place to find us. Follow the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Hit that follow button.
Yep.
And then do us a favor. Give us a nice rating. That'll boost viewership.
Yeah.
However,
the analytics and all that stuff. Yeah.
What's the word I was looking for? Not analytics. The algorithm. Help us be out there, get more exposure.
And also look us up on other podcasting apps if you use other ones. Obviously if you use other ones, you probably listen to it here. But let us know if you find us on some other weird podcasting app that we'll try to push forward.
Yeah,
like either like on Stitcher or I would say Google Podcast, but that's not around. I don't know about iHeartRadio if they do it. So like Amazon Music, I know we were on there for a while, but I don't know if we still are or not.
We should be. It's not like I took it off.
Yeah, but
follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X. We're on all those platforms. But seriously, we are. I run the Instagram account, so if you have something to say, a message or something, and you want to be featured on the show and talk about, I don't know, let's say you have a question or something, write to us. You can also write to us at simpletimespodcast@gmail.com. You'll be featured on the next episode in our Simple Shoutouts segment. We didn't have one of those today, but
no, yeah.
But you can be part of Simple Shoutouts. Just give us a shout out. Write to us. I think I covered all our social media bases.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, I guess that's it. Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Happy birthday. Yeah.
Well, that
okay.
sucked.
Yeah, I know.